Hello and welcome back to the last part of the Banner Saga Let's Play. Now last time you guys voted pretty dominantly to gather as much food as you can. That seems like an optimal route. If you're going to be traveling a long distance, you're going to need as much supplies as possible. But we also provided an option that had some pros and cons that you had to weigh. If you did what Ivor said, you know, he might know what he's talking about. He's fought Dredge before. And sometimes when you try to have your cake and eat it too, you're going to make the game a lot harder on yourself, either by harder fights or things go wrong, like this. And they don't go wrong in the fact that, oh no, you lost the game, everybody died. But it changes the outcome of what's going to happen. So right now we're probably going to end up with a tougher fight. You notice we don't have Gil in our roster anymore, he died. And the first thing you're going to see on the fight is that the deployment zone is a little unusual. Every time you go into a combat, there's a variety of different deployment zones that can come up. Sometimes they're unique to the combat, sometimes they're chosen randomly. Now I'm not going to play the full 15 or 20 minute combat here, I'm going to fade to certain key points. One thing I did want to mention was Oddleaf, the chieftain's wife, her ability as a Sky Striker is to trap a tile. So when an enemy walks over that tile, the arrow comes down and hits them and stops them in their tracks. She makes, especially with the Dredge, a very good kind of board control character. She's able to put enemies where you want them, stop them from approaching weak allies. Now if I were paying a little closer attention, I would have used Oddleaf to stop that Dredge one tile further so that all three of those enemies would have been lined up. We'll move ahead a little further here. Ivor can't use his ability, he's out of willpower, so I use the horn. Every time you get a kill on a Dredge, you get a star on your horn. And that's going to give willpower to anyone whose turn it is. So you're incentivized to get kills and build up this pool of kind of wildcard willpower that you can give. Now what I really wanted to show was, this combat is still completely winnable, but I'm going to skip ahead and just pretend that we had lost this battle. You still get the renown for the kills that you make. You don't get a bonus for winning. But what's going to happen is, the story continues even when you lose. So there's very many combats in the game. When you do them and you don't succeed, the story doesn't just end. But the outcome is usually going to be less than optimal. It's going to be almost always a pretty bad outcome. However, we really want the player to continue playing as though this is part of their story and, you know, take the knocks as they come. Alright, that's going to do it for the Banner Saga. That was the end of the PAX demo. There's lots of different ways that could have gone down. The chieftain didn't have to die, Gil didn't have to die. You notice too at the end there the number of peasants that you have and fighters and supplies. All those numbers change depending on what options you chose. So if we had chosen to go for the food and then won the combat, we would have ended up with a lot more supplies and probably less casualties as well. So every time you play through the game, you're going to have a different experience. The choices that you make in almost every situation are going to dramatically affect the gameplay. Can't wait to get the full game out to you. It's coming along really well, and we think you're really going to like it. Thanks for watching.